Hey guys, I hope everyone's doing well. Here to do a pickups video. I haven't done one of these in a while. A couple of reasons for doing it. I think firstly, yeah, gathered a few bits, probably more bits in the last month or so than I have in a long time. So it kind of warrants a video. And also because in my last video, which was about Nottingham Video Games Expo, I've been catching up with a few tubers, also visiting Scott Sega Zombie, and again seeing a few tubers at his gaff for an awesome evening of gaming. In that video I mentioned that I did have a few pickups, and I was away when I filmed it, so obviously didn't have them with me. So yeah, this is that video, and yeah, let's get stuck in. I'll stop rambling, try and make this a fairly prompt one. But first up, we've got a bit of music, so I've mentioned them a couple of times in the vlogs, but new album, saw them at Wembley, and yeah, Blur. So they've got a new album out, the Ballad of Darren, and they did a few combinations on their site, so you can get the tape, get the vinyl, get the CDs. And I got maybe a bit of a curious mix, but it just didn't seem to be much more, to be honest, than getting the two CDs. So we start with the CDs. So you've got they look identical. Well, they probably will look identical to you. The special edition one's slightly bigger, but here's the standard edition. I don't know if the focus is going to be my friend, but you've basically got 10 tracks on that. And then on the special edition one, you've got a couple of extra tracks at the bottom. So yeah, the Rabbi and the Swan. As you can see, they're both sealed, mainly because I'm streaming them. So I tend to bounce between Apple Music, which is what I've got at the moment, and Spotify, depending on what's cheapest, any vouchers, credits, and all of that stuff. So at the moment, I've been listening to the album through Apple Music. I've got the cassette as well. So see, just the standard, so 10 tracks, 5 on each side. I was about to say I don't have a cassette player, but I do have a nice blue cassette. I've got one of those cassette to MP3 things, which I got for about 20 quid off of Amazon a couple of months ago. Does what it needs to. There's a couple of bits I wanted to transfer over, make them a bit more digital. So yeah, I've got one of those. But to be honest, it's probably just gonna stay on the shelf. But yeah, that's cracking album. The singles that came out kind of stand out. They're a bit more upbeat. Yeah, kind of good tunes. It kind of hails back to the original, again, in my opinion. The Blur albums, that kind of sound. But the rest of tunes, it's probably in the name, are very much kind of melodies, ballad songs. So nice kind of melodic feel to them. Yeah, loads of nice guitar on there, and yeah, being a bit of an amateur guitarist, it's right up my street. So yeah, loving that. And next up, we've got a toy. I'm still following that crazy Ulysses pursuit. So I've only got this is my second figure. The first figure I got, which is up on the shelf around there, is No the robot. They're particularly hard to come by, and when you do find them, they're in France, and they quite often they're like mega bucks. This one was from a UK seller. I had a couple of bits on there. So I haven't seen Ulysses pop up in the UK. I've seen like a box one, but that was like phenomenal money, so I wasn't going to go anywhere near this. But this is Ulysses' son. I don't know if it's going to focus. Yeah, Telemachus. Wearing his obviously space helmet, but he's got his holster. Yeah, UK seller, fairly decent price, to be honest. He's not the cleanest copy that you see, but this paint at this age, it's always gonna it's gonna chip off a little bit. But yeah, his helmet, I thought it's quite delicate, but it's yeah, it's got a small. I think it's intentional. Otherwise, I don't think the thing would come off. But you've got a small line there, which allows you to, he says, repping it, and take the, might be a bit more familiar. There we go, in focus. So there he is, and yeah, it was complete as well. So it came with a little, I'll get them out because they're super fiddly, but yeah, kind of sword or laser, bit of a lightsaber thing, and then a little pistol, which is cool. So chuffed with that. I'm going to bounce around a lot, but mainly here on in it's mainly games and gaming related stuff. So the first one was a game which I did have a while ago, and I have actually got, I think I've got the Super Famicom versions on Facebook Marketplace. This popped up recently, and it was going for a steal, so it wasn't far away. In fact, it was fairly near Marathon Gaming, so near Scott's gaff. So I was on his turf, and I grabbed this. But yeah, Jar Mac for the SNES. So it was a version that came with the, I think, the Retro Bit console. I don't know if maybe they did sell it separately as well. I've certainly seen it with the Retro Bit console. Was it the Retro Trio HD? So yeah, good to get that back. Cheeky little platformer. On my trip to Nottingham, again, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, or in the previous video. We're lucky enough to stay over with a chicken, Feed Me Chicken, stay at his gaff on the Friday night before heading to the expo on the Saturday. It basically just carved out a lot of driving. It was enough driving as it was, but yeah, without that, it was absolute bloody godsend. So FMC, if you're watching, cheers to you and your family for letting us kip over, because it was me, Scott as well. So I gave Scott a lift, so I had a bit of a co-pilot in the car. And yeah, we bought a few games for that weekend. So on the Friday night, a couple of beers, and we just put stuff on the table and then just had a little look through. So I picked up two items, or three in fact, because I think there's might be a game downstairs. So the two games from Feed Me Chicken were Super Lucky's Tale for the Xbox, which does look like a pretty cool platformer game, which he said is decent. So I'm looking forward to getting stuck into that. And yeah, and I had a really ropey version of Super WrestleMania for the Mega Drive, and he had a far better version. Mine had kind of rips, and it was all just a right old cruddy mess. It looked like it'd been out in the desert for some time, and I'm sure mine didn't have the manual as well. So a bit of a cheeky upgrade on that. So cheers, mate, for that. And the accommodation and his daughter as well was nice enough to gave some Paw Patrol related bits to my son. So yeah, loads of stuff, loads of books, kind of like a Scalextrics, like a racing kind of toy, a game as well for the PlayStation, which we fired up today. So he's really enjoying that. I think PS4 game. So brilliant. So yeah, thank you FMC and to your daughter. Great stuff. Really appreciate it. And yeah, Scott had a NES game that I've been looking at. It's based on a classic film. I think no offense, Scott, I'm sure you probably appreciate that the film is better than the game itself, but it's still friggin' stellar, and it will be really appreciated in the collection. But yeah, Top Gun, but in super condition, even out of the protector, it looks really nice. So yeah, chuffed to have this one. Just like iconic, isn't it, the logo? So yeah, the good day, good evening with those guys. Then we travelled up on the Saturday to the expo, and a few items. First one, I was chatting with a guy on Instagram, because I bought some stuff. Was it Instagram? No, in fact, it was Etsy. Bought some stuff from this guy before, and when the Tears of the Kingdom, the latest Zelda game, came out, I saw that he was putting some of these things together. Again, I'll stop the ramble, but the seller is MBP UK. I know a few folk. I'm pretty sure Rob, Champion 2D, Rob has spoken about before, but he does little custom manuals, because no bloody people these days can be asked to, the actual developers can't be asked to do their own instructions. So this guy does their job for them, but does it in a great way. So there's a few that I got last year, a few that I needed, but this was the one that I was really after. So I strolled into the expo, had a little look around, and the guy was in the corner. I genuinely didn't even know he was going to be there. I was like, "Have you got any Tears of the Kingdom ones, and so yeah, you obviously did. So they'll be nice. I'll get those stuck into the Switch cases. Just nicely complements the game, and they're pretty detailed as well. They're not little. They're little in terms of the size, but in terms of the amount of pages, you get your money's worth. They're nice things to flick through. So yeah, Andy did a bit of banter with him, a bit of a cheeky discount as well, which I generally didn't ask for, so that was really kind of him. So yeah, I'll tag the Etsy page. I think it's on Instagram as well, so I'll tag something in the description if I remember, but worth checking out for sure. And then there was also the almighty Tootie at Tootie UK, so Stu was there. So I had a bit of a chat with him, and he was there with Darren or Dazza. We were both of them selling a chunk of stuff as they do, and he had a look around. Didn't buy anything from Dazza on this occasion, but yeah, still had a couple of bits which wasn't kind of proactively looking for, but yeah, rarely do. Just stuff that caught my eye, and I thought, bloody hell, it's pretty decent. So for the NES, I've got Ikari Warriors, the game, and still nicely packaged away, and the manual, and then a game that Glenn from Galloway Gaming and a few others have spoken about. I know Glenn fondly talks about this game, but the Dreamcast Space Channel 5. So yeah, nice version as well. So yeah, looking forward to getting that on the shelf. We get it in the console first, and then get it nicely catalogued and put away with the other stuff. So cheers for both those items. Stu, again, another cheeky little discount I didn't ask for. So yeah, very, very kind, mate. Always appreciated, and I'm sure I'll catch you at the next event. And then 3 more bits that I got. These were all from Sore Thumb Retro Games, which is, I think they're in York, and in no particular order. It says no particular order. He's sort of shuffling stuff around on the desk. So we've got for the Mega Drive, the Japanese edition, eSWAT. Love this game back in the day. But as always, I think this is probably the comment I always put on Retro Import Gamers, so James's channel and his videos. I'm just like, bloody hell, the Japanese box art's so much cooler than what we had over here. But yeah, eSWAT, nice version. And because I did buy a few bits, or these 3 bits from them, I did ask. I said, look, what can you do in terms of a deal? So I did knock some money off, and then I had a bit of a panic because the card machine went into some kind of meltdown. It's probably the signal in the place, but I was like, oh, bloody hell, is this gonna go through? But it did. So I got that. This one, a bit random, and it's pretty good to sit on the shelf for a bit anyway, because I don't actually have the console. I don't have an N64, but when I did have an N64, which was split 7 ways back in college days with my kind of housemates, probably the third or fourth game we got was Turok. So yeah, saw it. It was a very decent price. So part of the bundle, I was like, look, I'll grab that as well. And then the final piece, which is super nice condition. It's not sealed. It's just been put in a bit of a protector. But for the Dreamcast, Nights into Dreams, with obviously the controller as well. So yeah, chuffed to get that. Really nice condition. So yeah, lovely display piece. I've never tried the multi-controller either, so give that a shot, I'm sure. And then yeah, a few other bits. So these 2 are from Doorway to Darkness. A couple of games I think I was actively looking for, so I went on their website. I got some good stuff there. First up, it's a great game, and I just realised a bit not water damage, but a little crinkled on the cover. So probably new cover will do the trip. But yeah, Rambo 3, see for the Mega Drive. got to say again, I think the Japanese version is nicer than this one. But hey ho, it is an awesome game. This one I had the PAL version for as a kid. I think again it was one of the first couple of games I got for the Mega Drive as a kid. But yeah, Shadow Dancer. But check out that stellar box art. It's just friggin' amazing. Absolutely awesome. And yeah, I think with Rambo, I can't remember opening it, but no instructions with that one. So anyone does a manual, they want to move on or sell to me, please shout. I think it'd be a bit tricky one to get on the likes of eBay, but who knows. But yeah, complete with Shadow Dancer. Hey guys, it's clearly amateur hour. My battery on my camera just went, so I'm just going to go back through the final items I had to show, and both of them are from I said both of them, there's 3 bits in fact, and he chucked in an extra item as well, but they're all from Alex, which is was a channel called Arcade Archive, who does the amazing arcade down in Stroud, along with Neil that runs the Cave, RMC. And yeah, Alex is moving on a few items. I think for those of you on the old social groups, you probably would have seen a few of his items pop up. And also on the swap shop as well. Kind of caught up. I joined a bit late and then ended up watching the rest of it yesterday. But this Sunday's swap shop, Sunday just gone, he was on there getting rid of moving on a few choice items. But for me, I mean, they're all Metroid related. One of them was kind of had my eyes in it for a while, but just getting a decent price and getting it in decent condition. But yeah, I'm doing a bit crazy order. I'm just going to go for that particular item because I bloody love it. But it is the Samus edition of the 3DS XL. So I've got a few of the special editions now, such as the Super Famicom one. I've got like a Yoshi one, a couple of Mario World ones. Which I probably need to move one of those on. It was a bit of an upgrade, but yeah, lovely to have. I won't open it here, but it's all beautifully box complete, not a mark on it, and the box itself is, as you can see, it's in great condition. Quite often these are quite tatty, or the screens been scratched or a bit knocked out. Someone can scratch a screen on something which is a clamshell. It's beyond me, but it obviously happens. But this one is in top condition. Obviously it's owned by a collector who looks after his stuff, so that was the main draw. And I was like, okay, what other stuff have you got? And he threw in with an amiibo of the lady herself, Samus Aran. Having real camera issues. But you know what Samus is like. You can Google it. Look at Google Images if you're really struggling. And yeah, a couple of the Game Boy Advance games. I've got both of these like PAL versions, but I think one of them definitely cut only. But these are box complete. But the Japanese versions. Let's go one so I can see if it's in focus. So yeah, Metroid Fusion. Just the front, and then he's dropping stuff left, right, and centre. It's a lesson for you all in why to use box protectors. And then Zero Mission. Again, they're like, I mean, they say about this that the box protectors hide a multitude of sins, but even out of the box, these are friggin' amazing. So well chuffed with them. And that's it, guys. So a bit of a medley of pickups, and yeah, I'm still cracking on with a few other videos. Still doing like cartoon intros. Really hailing back from the good old days, 80s and 90s stuff. Need to do some more Let's Get Physical videos. Well aware that's kind of dried up a bit, not for the lack of stuff to be videoing, it's just pulling the proverbial thumb out and recording some stuff. So I need to do some of that. Still doing the vlogs, particularly having time off. It's been a bit more sociable, kind of out and about, playing a lot more. Still playing a lot of good old Diablo 4. Nearly there. I think I'm the penultimate. I think it's the penultimate boss but you've gone into the battle way too early, very under leveled, so I'm having to get grind a bit, but it's a pleasurable grind in a gaming sense. It's like decent side missions, and the characters are just like the storyline, the plot, even on the side missions is pretty cool. Some of the areas and some of the gross-tastic enemies, it makes it all worthwhile. So yeah, putting a lot of time into that. But yeah, the vlog's still trying to, maybe a bit delayed on the last one. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I'll be putting those out. And that's it. Yeah, I mean, finally, big thank you to all you lovely subscribers. I had quite a few, particularly in the last 3 weeks. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. Maybe the algorithm's being kind to me for a little bit, but yeah, it's got a noticeable jump. So yeah, cheers to all you new guys and girls who have jumped on the crazy Retroed bandwagon. It's appreciated, and an equal appreciation, of course, goes to everyone that's kind of stuck with the channel and the two and a bit years I've been doing this stuff. So it means a lot, it really does. So cheers for the support, and yeah, all that stuff about the likes and the subscribe button and the comments and blah blah blah. You know the drill, and I will catch you all very soon. Take care, guys. Cheers.